Good afternoon, and welcome parents, staff, distinguished guests, and most of all, the amazing class of 2021. I am Shawn Green Beebe, the proud principal of the Jean L. Kilda Utica Academy for International Studies. It is indeed an honor to serve as the principal of one of the district's finest institutions. I can't tell you how great it is to see all of you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please rise, and gentlemen, please remove your caps for the singing of our national anthem performed by UAIS senior, Ms. Katrina Kagalawan.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Katrina, for that beautiful rendition of our national anthem. Today, we come together as a community to celebrate success. We recognize that this year the celebration is a little different, but whether you are with us in person, watching at home, or gathering as a family with friends at a later time, the result is still the same. We honor this unique class of 2021 for their remarkable accomplishments and look forward to all they will accomplish as graduates of the Jean L. Kilda Utica Academy for International Studies. We have many distinguished guests that I would like to acknowledge and ask them to stand as I announce their group. Joining us today are the Board of Education, Superintendent of Schools, the UCS Chief of Staff, and Central Office Administrators. Our UAIS leadership team, Mr. Kenneth Volks, Assistant Principal, Mr. Christopher Layson, IB Diploma Program Coordinator, Mr. Justin Spear, CAS Coordinator, Mrs. Amy Jo Yoakum, Extended Essay Coordinator, Mrs. Susan Fitzsimmons, Counselor, and Mrs. Emily Device, Counselor. And of course, our exemplary UAIS staff. We welcome them and thank them for their dedicated service to our students. The class of 2021 is the 10th graduating class of the Utica Academy for International Studies. As I began to research the importance of the number 10, I learned that it symbolizes the completion of a cycle. Think about it. 10 is the age that young children yearn to reach with great anticipation. After all, it means they have finally hit double digits. More importantly, though, the number 10 represents a new beginning. With this new beginning comes leadership, optimism, confidence, independence, creativity, adaptability, and of course, success. All of these attributes speak to the 10th graduating class, the class of 2021. We know that the pandemic has taught us many things, has forced us to be innovative, and even revealed our shortcomings. But through it all, we have learned that we are more resilient than we ever knew. We won't let anything prevent or stop our progress. Continue to keep the symbolic meaning of 10 ever before you as you traverse through life's journey. You are the class of 2021. The pandemic threatened to stop you, but you persevered. Seize every opportunity and enjoy every victory. Welcome to your new beginning. It is a pleasure to introduce to you the valedictorians and salutatorians for the Jean L. Kilda Utica Academy for International Studies, class of 2021. On your screen, you will see the names of our valedictorians and salutatorians and their future college plans. At this time, I would ask all of our valedictorians and salutatorians to stand, face the crowd, and receive a well-earned round of applause. At this time, I would like to welcome to the stage the first of our 2 student commencement speakers. Valedictorian Alexander Hughes will be attending Harvard University in the fall. Ladies and gentlemen, valedictorian Alexander Hughes.
Mr. Monroe, members of the board, administrators, teachers, parents, and of course, my fellow students, thank you for allowing me the honor of giving this commencement address. First, I want to thank the school board, superintendent, faculty, and staff for all the support you have given to our entire graduating class. We would not have the strong foundation upon which we stand without your help and guidance. Your perseverance this past year and throughout our time together in ensuring we all had the highest possible quality education will long be remembered. I also want to thank the parents and families of the class of 2021, especially my own, whose love and wisdom have gotten us to today. At the heart of commencement is a bittersweet contradiction. We come here today to celebrate 2 opposing ideas, ending and beginning. The end of our time together in high school is the sadder of the 2, but it's endings that I want to focus on today, because I think it's endings that equip us to make the most of the beginnings that follow. There's a poem that addresses this idea that I'm particularly fond of. It was written by Tecumseh, chief of the Shawnee people, in which he lays out a code for living well. He exhorts us to be tolerant, friendly, and generous. He tells us to respect the ways of life of those around us and to demand that same respect from them. Most of all, though, it is focused on endings. He calls us to be grateful for our time on this earth, to recognize the finality of death, and to live honorably, such that one can face death with contentment. He tells us to prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the great divide. I know it is incongruous to speak of death on a day of celebration. Of course, death is always tragic, and rarely is it made easier or less capricious by our actions before it comes. We have all become far too familiar with it this year. Many of us, too many of us, have lost loved ones. We have felt the weight of grief on our hearts. Some of us feel it, even today, and my heart goes out to all of yours. But I feel comfortable discussing it because my classmates and I are crossing over a great divide in our lives. We are becoming adults, we are leaving home, we are soon to carve out our own places in new communities. We are marking an ending of another kind. It is remarkably appropriate that our mascot is the phoenix, a great symbol of constant regeneration, because it is not too much an exaggeration to say our current selves are dying, soon to be remade anew. Life is full of irreversible changes, changing careers, moving homes, and yes, graduating from high school. Little parts of ourselves perish and are replaced with each change, but that is something we ought to embrace rather than fear. What Tecumseh understood, what he showed me, is that meaning flows from endings, from our knowledge that everything is impermanent. Deep within each of us is a natural fear of loss. When we are confronted by it, we take stock of our lives. It demands deep reflection. What can I do that will justify living with melancholy and fear? What do I want to be remembered for? Why am I here? His great insight was that the best way to calm those fears is to live a principled life, in his words, to find purpose in the service of your people. Only when we are honest, when we work for the betterment of our community, when we are truly oriented toward good, can we accept the fact that our time must end. The lyrics to our death songs are written in our answers to those questions, in our adherence to those values. Tecumseh's wisdom wasn't really about death itself, after all. You can't perfect your life as it ends. That takes sustained effort. His poem is really a call to make the most of beginnings, the most of each day, so that we can, one day, meet our end with resolve. I therefore find little value in fear of the future, of what comes next. The proper response to an ending, and certainly to a beginning such as today, is, in fact, to ask what's next. What will I do tomorrow, next week, next month and year to make my life meaningful, to give me purpose and to be useful to those around me? How will I make the world a better place than it is right now? I am proud of my classmates at the Kilda, Utica Academy for International Studies, because we have tried to answer these questions together. I know we will continue to do so, and so I can't wait to see, from each of you, what's next.
Thank you, Alex, for that riveting address. Now it is time to hear our second commencement speaker, valedictorian Mohammed Chowdhury. Mohammed will be attending Lake Forest College in the fall. Please welcome to the stage valedictorian Mohammed Chowdhury.
Good afternoon, students, staff, family, and Board of Education. My name is Mohammed Chowdhury, and it is an honor to speak on behalf of the Kilda Utica Academy for International Studies, class of 2021. I'd like to thank our superintendent, Mr. Monroe, the president of the Board of Education, Dr. Mary Thomas, the members of the Board of Education, and every single one of you illustrious teachers who work their absolute hardest to provide us the best experience. I personally would like to thank Mr. Coleman and Mrs. Hall for pushing me to be me. Recently, the class of 2021 has held nothing but a screen. It may feel like we've been drowned out, but when we set perfection as the only option, it can cause people who fall short of that standard in any small particular way to just decide that they've already failed. Might as well give up entirely. No. Every little bit helps, so embrace the pandemonium. Tumultuous, yes, yet each and every one of you accomplished that impossible, as we're all here awaiting our next step. I commend you. I cannot believe it was only 4 years ago we entered these two hallways. For a moment, just sit and embrace our relationships, our friendships, and shared classroom experiences. At UAS, I found my voice through poetry, through expression, and I learned through countless tears that it isn't always about the destination, but the journey. So I present in the best way I can a poem dedicated to our growth. You take 95 strangers and put them in random predicaments, give them a soul, make your own choices, reap the benefit. 4 years later, packed together, real buoyant and intimate. See, Malcolm X said education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. At the time of his remarks, I couldn't read, I couldn't write propositions. We were well aware. In fact, pay attention, this one decision changed most of our lives, manifested in succession. For generations, we've known of the guardians of knowledge, yet we never questioned the keeper of keys. And yes, beneath our masks and mischief existed an authentic frustration. I never seen the heinous miscalculations of this order of operations. Unfortunately, more dividing and conquering. But that's reality. It's too abstract, no point in an answer like that, so what, Mr. Burak? On stage. This platform, our stories, our ladders that make it easier to touch the stars, so climb. Keep climbing, spill those emotions deep into the sea to light your world. A luminous allure seen as an amalgam of memories. And as I look into each of your eyes, I see comets aligning Orion's belt, each a beautiful star. I stand here, my veins pumping revolution with poetry, imploring you to reflect. I stand here connecting the stars, imploring you to recognize your greatness. I stand here a vagabond, traversing the Big Dipper, imploring you to embark, for you found your dialect. For education is the keeper of keys, the prospect of our celestial potential. So brighten the darkness. Tomorrow brings a new dream, so absorb everything and let your light escape. Unencumbered by the weight of perfection, let the cadence of your genius object over the sea, empowering your fear. In a program with such academic rigor, we so often forget the basics of life. The point of this poem is that the merely obvious realities are overlooked, seen as banal, unnecessary, though our stanzas of experience, the genius you all hold flows in rhythm and in rhyme, revealing years we spent trudging the flow, and it is stellar to see us all grow. I sound like Mr. Hume, don't I? So remember, live right now today. All the adversity you've endured inspires seas and skies, and I know you can succeed with no hesitation, so begin your journey. Travel the stars, use your genius to move on to something greater. Class of 2021, graduate knowing you all look beautiful in blue. Thank you.
Thank you, Muhammad, for that wonderful address. Mr. Monroe has served our community as an administrator for more than 20 years at both the building and district level. In August, he was appointed by the Board of Education to his current role and has provided a steady leadership for our schools during this time of great change. Please welcome Superintendent Mr. Robert Monroe.
Thank you. It is my honor to be here to celebrate the class of 2021. Over the next few years, much will be written about your final years of K-12 education and the impact of the global pandemic. For the most part, these stories will focus on how your world was forever changed. But as futurists debate and dissect these changes, I think it is also important to recognize some of the things that are constant and will never change. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., there is with human beings an amazing potential for goodness. To see this potential, look around at the people in your life. There you will find those who believe in you, your parents, your siblings, your friends, your administrators and teachers. Throughout your future, you will always have them or people like them in your life. The world you are going into, despite its challenges, will always be filled with caring and compassionate people. No matter your future challenges or successes, there will be people of strength who unconditionally love you. It is a fundamental law of nature that there is an innate goodness in others that war, economic instability, or even a pandemic will never destroy. The Utica educational community that partnered with your parents to nurture you has stood strong for well over a century. We are not going anywhere. Those of us who celebrated you, challenged you, denied you snow days. Yeah, I get it. I just wanted to make sure you were listening. The people who cared for you, cheered you, and loved you will always be here. And now it is your turn. Author Roy T. Bennett says, "Be the reason someone smiles. Be the reason someone feels loved and believes in the goodness in people." As the UCS graduates before you and those who will follow, you have received a public education in K-12 schools that are considered among the most respected in the state in the greatest school district in the nation. Our graduates are on the front line in the battle against COVID-19, cancer, human suffering, climate, the economy, and many of the challenges facing our world. The UCS diploma that will shortly be handed to you is your ticket to making a difference in a world of opportunity. It is now your time to take this ticket, the skills you have developed, and make a journey that is all your own. As you move forward, take a look behind you every once in a while, and you will see us, supporting you and cheering your successes. That is something that will never change. Congratulations to the Utica Community Schools class of 2021. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the president of our Board of Education, Dr. Mary Thomas. Dr. Thomas is now in her 7th year on the Board of Education. Dr. Thomas has 2 children in Utica Community Schools. Please welcome Dr. Mary K. Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Monroe. Parents, staff, and most importantly, the class of 2021. What is there left to be said? What makes my brief comments today all the more difficult is that these words are really the last thing standing between you and your high school diploma. I am here representing the UCS Board of Education. My board colleagues serve as elected officials, but our first, best, and most important title that we hold is parents of Utica Community Schools students and graduates. So I want to speak to you as a representative of a group that has not yet been to the microphone, and that is your moms, dads, grandmas, and grandpas, and those who have cared for you since you were young. We have been with you since the beginning. We were there when you drew your first miraculous breath, cheered and cried when you went to kindergarten, and now, once again, cheer and cry as you reach this new chapter in your life. Before you reach this milestone, we have just a few more requests that we want for your future. First, be happy. Be kind to others. You never know the journey they've been on or the journey they will be on. Be healthy, have faith, and take care of your planet. Call, text, or Zoom your loved ones often. You have not even left, but we already miss you. Whatever you choose to put your passions to, do it well. Work hard, treat others with respect, and remember, always family first. You will always be in our minds and our hearts. We will never stop caring for you. Somewhere, 10 years down the road, you will realize why we do what we do. And now, I would like to say the words that are 13 years in the making. Members of the class of 2021, it is now time to change your title from Utica Community Schools student to Utica Community Schools graduate. The faculty of Utica Community Schools has recommended to the superintendent that a Utica Community Schools high school diploma be conferred upon you. By the authority vested in your Board of Education by the state of Michigan, it is now time to announce our graduates, award the diplomas, and congratulate the class of 2021 on a job well done. Let us proceed.
Isaac Abraham. Christina Aksovsky. Joseph Barco. Ian Bednarski. Hannah Benedict. Nicholas Bennett. Eric Berg. Christina Berzins. Aaron Bielecki. Anna Blasky. Amelia Borchich. Ryan Boring. Joseph Bullock. Sarah Burgess. Katrina Isabel Kagalawan. Riley Carver. Mohammed Chowdhury. Alexa Clampett. Melina Colon. Mark Crossan. Onken Deb. Hannah DeHont. Noelia Dulo. Fiona Duncan. Ethan Erkinen. Isabella Feeney. Lauren Fortunato. Ethan Gerch. Andrew Gontaruk. Oka Gorvokai. Samuel Grulewski. Helena Haddad. Ryan Haynes. Linu Hanna. Brady Hannon. Jennifer Hassai. Nesma Hassan. Lena Haydens. Emily Hoyompa. Charlene Shang. Alexander Hughes. Shahnawaz Hussain. William Jenkins. Lucas Jorgens. Carter Kemmerling. Adam Confar. Margaret Koshy. Samantha Kopitz. Ella Kraus. Elizabeth Lajeunesse. Emerson Laprise. Jaden Loy. Emily McIntosh. Daphne Mayor. Kendall Malberg. Maria Matthew. Angelina McKimson. Eric Mercure. Adam Mary. Madison Machonsky. Thomas Mosley. Loch Nguyen. Diana Palazzolo. Lauren Patrick. Maya Peck. Julia Perret. Hayden Peterson. Isabella Plumby. Rory Prisby. Gavin Poole. Hayden Puri. Gabriela Chafko. Saeem Rafiq. Ananya Rao. Lucas Robinson. Kyle Rodriguez. Gabriel Ruiz. Farah Sabri. Delaney Sacra. Natalie Sappho. Jack Sanitate. Lily Sawyers. Noah Shepke. Dylan Sharp. Madison Shippey. Harman Singh. Riley Smythe. Isabella Stryber. Luke Strine. Pranshu Thakur. Jenna Tryon. Ryan Verbrugge. Sarah Wieland. Fiona Schutte. Colin Zelasco.
Seniors, your journey is almost complete. You have completed the requirements for graduation, and you've had your name called. We have one last thing to do, the tassel ceremony. Currently, your tassel sits on the right side of your cap, representing your journey through UAIS. Take a hold of your tassel in your right hand, which represents your freshman and sophomore years. You came to UAIS with dreams and aspirations and ready to take your rightful place to begin your journey to excellence. You met new friends, experienced new traditions, and became part of the culture that is UAIS. Now, move your tassel to the center of your cap. This movement symbolizes your junior year. You gained confidence, shared in victories, challenges, and supported each other. You officially entered the diploma program and were met with new challenges, more demands, CAS, and the extended essay will become daunting tasks that would become rewarding experiences in the end. Finally, move your tassel to the left side of your cap, which represents your senior and final year. As seniors, we ask you to be leaders, individually and collectively. You completed your requirements, you worked hard to get to this point today, and you made your college decisions along the way. As you complete the move of your tassel, so ends your 13-year journey and your time as a student at the Utica Academy for International Studies. I challenge you to never forget what you have learned, to never forget and cherish forever the memories you will take with you. Regardless of where your journey's next steps take you, always remember, you were and will always be a phoenix. Congratulations, class of 2021.